Namaste from Norway, guys. My name is Arvind and welcome back to our channel. So guys, Norway is the country which is most of the time in the top of HDI list. Besides this, it's known for its wonderful natural beauty. And there are about 5.5 million people who are living in Norway. Recently, we made a video about that why people are now tending to move out of Norway. But now in this video, we would like to talk about some of the reasons that you should not even consider moving to Norway, even though it is one of the best countries to be in. So based upon our 10 years of experience of living in Norway, these are some of the points which we have accumulated and we wanted to share it with them because these can be some of the very vital reasons due to which people would not like to move to Norway. So let's discuss these topics one by one. I'll start with the most obvious point, and that is if you don't like the inclement weather and the harsh weather. You know that these days in Norway it is summers, and as you can see, even in summers it can rain a lot, especially if you're living in a city like Bergen or Stavanger, it can rain. But now here in Oslo also you can see in the first week of July, it's raining cats and dogs over here. And not just summers. So summers are a good part of Norway, but the winters, that is something which bothers us a lot. And I know a couple of people who actually left Norway because of this. So if you really love the sun and hate the winters, you don't like snow, you don't like the darkness, then please don't come to this country. Because I think most of the people struggle with during the winter period, and even us, those who have lived here for 11 years, we are still struggling. Then the second point is that if you don't like to learn a new language, then Norway is not a country for you. And the reason is because in most of the European nations, you would see that they have language, their official language is not English. For example, in France, it's French, in Germany, it's German. It's likewise in Norway also. If you want to work in the public sector, in offently sectors, such as in the hospitals or in the commune, then Norwegian is must for you. Only exceptions are, for example, the IT jobs or some other specialist jobs where your skill overpowers your language. But at the same time, if you want to integrate with the society, for example, if you're sending your kid to Norwegian school, then most of the meetings are happening in Norwegian. Most of the information that is disseminated is happening in Norwegian. Even the subject, the syllabus, that is in Norwegian. I think 1 or 2 years you are provided with an interpreter, but otherwise it's very difficult to understand all of the communication that is being given to you, or all of the information that is being communicated to you in Norwegian. So that can also be a big hassle for you. In order to circumvent this, few of the people are sending their kids to the international school. So that is one option, but again, that is not a very viable option for most of the people. Hence, keep this thing in mind that if you don't like to learn a new language, in this case Norwegian, then don't come to a country like Norway. Rather go to some English-speaking countries such as the UK, Australia, or Canada, or the US, right? Or stay in India. So guys, the third point is that if you are too ambitious, then Norway is not a country for you, right? And this is based upon the experiences which my colleagues, which my friends have shared with me. So what do I mean by this? Norway, in a country like Norway, people tended to cherish work-life balance. If you work on weekends, that is not considered as a very positive point, but rather a negative point. So if, for example, you just like to work, and you are just sending emails to everyone trying to follow up on the weekends and, trying to pushing people to reach or to go out of their comfort zone, then you might feel some resistance, right? So that is why people have said that, okay, if you're too ambitious, then this is not a country for you. Rather, go to countries such as the US, stay in India where your hard work is rewarded, and if you want to be an outlier, you want to outperform everyone, that is totally fine in these countries, but in Norway that is not fine. And one of the examples is even in the schools, if the kid is exceptionally smart, so what they will do is this exceptionally smart student, he or she might have to wait until the others kind of match up to the same level. So it's not like a special treatment is given to this exceptionally smart student over there, right? So based upon this, an inference can be made that this is not a country where they value a lot of extra effort and where they value people with too much of ambitions. So guys, the fourth point is about the income and the taxes. So if you want to earn a lot of income, for example, as an IT engineer with 15 years of experience in the US, you can earn about 250,000 US dollars, which is about 2.5 million kroners. But the median salary for the same IT engineer in Norway would be around 1.3 million kroners. So you can see that there is a clear disparity in terms of the salaries. Okay, that is not all, but heavy taxes, for example, if you are earning 1.3 million kroners, you would easily end up paying generally about 35% to 36% of tax when all of the deductions are in place. Otherwise, this may go up to 42 to 43% of tax, right? Not just this, if you are also running a business side by side, then you also have to pay a 25% extra VAT on that, right? And on the top of it, the things in the Norway, for example, your daily groceries, your house rents, etc., they're really very expensive. So you cannot save a lot of money and you cannot be filthy rich in a country like Norway. And that is because of the way the salaries are almost equal for everyone, and also because of the high taxes. So then due to this, you cannot become as rich as you want. And if that is your aim, then Norway is not a country for you. And I think the last point which comes to my mind is about raising your child. If you want to raise your child as the way you want, for example, in India, you can have some control over your child, right? You can tell him what to do, what not to do, and if and if the situation demands, you can be a little bit harsh. But that is not the case in Norway. In Norway, child's rights are the most supreme, and around that everything else is coming. So we have made a lot of videos about it, and you might have also seen this movie, such a movie that is Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway, which has explained one of these cases. And as I mentioned, we have made 2 or 3 videos about it, that the child protection agency, it can actually intervene if they feel that you're not raising the child which is in the best interest of the child, right? So that is the one aspect. Another aspect of this is that you cannot impose your religion on your child, right? That is also. So if the child decides at a certain age that he or she doesn't want to be part of your religion, or he or she doesn't want to be religious at all, you cannot force him or her. That is the second point. The third is about this LGBTQ community. As I mentioned in my previous videos, the link of which is given over here. In Norway, even at the kindergartens, they will introduce this LGBTQ thing to them, right? So for few people or for few parents, that is not a very apt kind of scenario. So in that case also, if you are again a little bit of, hesitant for this particular thing, then you can be, then you should not come to Norway. So the point is that read a lot about that, how a child is raised in Norway, and what kind of influence you can have your child before you want to make a decision about whether you should come to Norway or not. So I think these were some of the points which came to my mind. If there are other points which you think are very important for this particular video, then please put them in the comment section, and we would be happy to discuss them in the next videos or even in the live sessions. So we have also made another video about the same topic, but that was in Hindi. The link of that video can be found here, but that is more exhaustive. We have discussed more points over there, and this is the most recent one. So hopefully you like this video, and it would educate you and it would help you when you're making a decision to move to Norway. So that's it. Namaste from Norway. And yes, please do share, subscribe and like.